Historical prophecies about the apocalyptic war between Iran and Israel. Copyright 2024 NLP Radio Inc. Chapter 1. Introduction. Predictions and forecasts have always been a significant part of human history. Since ancient times, people have sought signs and omens about the future to make their decisions more informed and precise. This need to anticipate the future arises from various motivations: the quest for a better understanding of life, political and military decision-making, avoiding potential dangers, and even simple human curiosity. Many ancient civilizations, including the Egyptians, Babylonians, Greeks, and Romans, developed complex systems for predicting the future. These systems included studying the stars, astrology, reading palm lines, palmistry, interpreting dreams, and consulting oracles. One topic that has consistently captured the attention of seers is apocalyptic wars. These wars are viewed as the end of the world and the beginning of a new era, and they are referenced in many cultures and religions. Apocalyptic wars symbolize significant transformation and change, which can lead to the destruction of old civilizations and the rise of new ones. Predictions related to apocalyptic wars typically involve detailed and sometimes ambiguous forecasts that require profound knowledge and insight to interpret. These predictions serve as warnings about what might occur in the future and how we can prepare ourselves to face it. The goal of this book is to examine various predictions regarding a potential conflict between Iran and Israel. This war, considered one of the most significant possible conflicts in the Middle East, has long been a focus for seers and analysts. In this book, we will explore the predictions of some of history's most renowned seers and provide various analyses. Studying these predictions not only helps us glimpse the future, but also allows us to learn from history and past experiences. These forecasts can act as warnings to prevent major conflicts and remind us that there are always ways to foster peace and coexistence. In this book, we aim to offer new perspectives through a deep and comprehensive examination of various predictions, assisting readers in building a better and brighter future based on past experiences. Studying predictions can enhance our understanding of international relations, political and social developments, and upcoming challenges. We hope this book will be a valuable resource for those interested in predictions and the history of Middle Eastern conflicts. Chapter 2. Nostradamus. Michel de Nostradame, commonly known as Nostradamus, is one of history's most famous seers. He was born on December 14, 1503, in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence, France. Although he worked as a physician, astrologer, and writer, he is best known for his book Les Prophecies, the Prophecies. This book is a collection of 942 quatrains, which are said to predict many historical events. Nostradamus was born into a Jewish family that had converted to Catholicism. He studied medicine at the University of Montpellier and, after graduating, worked as a doctor fighting the plague. He was also interested in occult sciences and astrology, spending much of his time studying astronomy and metaphysics. Les Prophecies was first published in 1555 and quickly captured the attention of the public and intellectuals. In this book, Nostradamus offered predictions about the future of the world and significant historical events in a vague and poetic manner. These predictions have been translated into various languages and continue to be studied and interpreted. Nostradamus referred to Middle Eastern wars and conflicts in several of his quatrains. Some of these quatrains related to this topic are as follows. First, quatrain 1-70. A great revolution in France will occur. Not only France, but many lands will change. A devastating death will come from the east. No one will be safe from death and destruction. This quatrain refers to a revolution and major changes starting from the east, which seems to hint at Middle Eastern wars and conflicts. Second, quatrain 2-62. Soldiers will come from the east to the west. A great war will begin near Iran. Bloodshed and destruction are ahead, and peace will come only after years of suffering and pain. This quatrain indicates a great war near Iran, which might be related to potential conflicts between Iran and Israel. Nostradamus' predictions are often ambiguous and poetic, requiring careful interpretation. Over the years, various commentators have attempted to analyze and interpret these forecasts. Some significant interpretations regarding the potential conflict between Iran and Israel include: 1. Eastern kings. Some interpreters believe Nostradamus spoke of Eastern kings attacking the West. This could refer to Middle Eastern countries, including Iran, which might provoke significant conflicts with Western nations or Israel in the future. 2. Death and destruction. In several quatrains, Nostradamus mentions death and destruction originating from the East. This might allude to large-scale wars and devastations that could occur in the Middle East. 3. World War III. Some commentators suggest that Nostradamus' predictions about World War III include conflicts between Iran and Israel. This war could be considered one of the starting points for World War III, with global repercussions. Nostradamus' prophecies concerning Middle Eastern wars and potential conflicts between Iran and Israel remain subjects of discussion and interpretation. His ambiguous and poetic language has led to various interpretations of his predictions, adding to the intrigue and mystique surrounding his work. Chapter 3. Edgar Cayce. Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, was born on March 18, 1877, in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, USA. He became famous for his supernatural abilities to predict the future and provide healing solutions while in a sleep-like or trance state. Throughout his life, Cayce made thousands of predictions, many of which accurately came true. Edgar Cayce demonstrated his supernatural abilities from a young age. He could memorize various books without any formal education and answer complex questions. At the age of 23, Cayce discovered his abilities when he fell ill with a strange disease that doctors could not cure. In a trance state, he healed himself and subsequently began healing others. Throughout his life, Cayce conducted thousands of readings that included future predictions, healing solutions, and spiritual guidance. His readings were recorded in writing and are now preserved at the Association for Research and Enlightenment, in Virginia Beach, Virginia. One of the most significant topics Edgar Cayce addressed was the prediction of World War III. Cayce believed that World War III would start in the Middle East and quickly spread to other parts of the world. Some of his most important predictions in this regard are as follows. 1. War in the Middle East. In several of his readings, Cayce referred to major wars in the Middle East. He believed that political and religious conflicts in this region could lead to World War III. 2. Religious and ethnic conflicts. Cayce strongly believed that religious and ethnic conflicts in the Middle East would play a crucial role in the onset of World War III. He specifically mentioned the conflicts between Muslims and Jews. 3. Global impacts of the war. Cayce predicted that World War III would have widespread effects on the world, causing significant political, social, and economic changes. Analysis and interpretation of Cayce's predictions regarding Iran and Israel. Edgar Cayce's predictions about World War III specifically mention the conflicts between Iran and Israel. Some of the most important analyses and interpretations of his predictions are as follows. 1. Political and religious conflicts. Cayce pointed to religious and political conflicts in the Middle East as the main factors in the onset of World War III. These conflicts include the disputes between Iran and Israel, which could lead to a major war. 2. Political developments. Cayce predicted that significant political changes in the Middle East would play a crucial role in the onset of World War III. These changes could include political developments in Iran and Israel, leading to larger conflicts. 3. Economic impacts. Casey believed that World War III would have widespread effects on the global economy. He predicted that this war could lead to major economic crises that would impact the world. Edgar Casey's predictions about World War III and potential conflicts between Iran and Israel continue to be studied and analyzed. Casey's supernatural abilities and the accuracy of his predictions have led many people to trust his foresight and consider them as warnings for the future. Chapter 4. Mother Shipton. Mother Shipton, one of England's renowned prophets, lived in the 16th century. Her real name was Ursula Soudheil, but she is better known as Mother Shipton. She gained fame for her precise and strange predictions, many of which have come true. Mother Shipton was born in Yorkshire, England, and led an adventurous life, which is referenced in numerous legends and local stories. There is no exact information about Mother Shipton's life, and most of the details about her come from tales and local legends. It is said that she was born and lived in a cave. Due to her extraordinary ability to predict the future, she attracted the attention of people and elites. She was able to predict many significant events of her time, including the Great Fire of London in 1666. Mother Shipton's prophecies were written in both verse and prose and have been compiled in various collections. These predictions cover political, social, and natural issues, and some have come true with great accuracy. Like many other prophets, Mother Shipton also referred to apocalyptic wars. Some of her predictions related to this topic are as follows. 1. Predictions about world wars. Mother Shipton referred to the occurrence of great wars and massive destructions. In her prophecies, she spoke of wars that would involve the entire world and bring significant changes to civilizations. 2. Religious and ethnic conflicts. Mother Shipton mentioned religious and ethnic conflicts that could lead to major wars. These conflicts are especially seen in the Middle East and between various nations. 3. Natural signs and climate changes. Mother Shipton pointed to natural signs like earthquakes, floods, and climate changes that could be seen as signs of apocalyptic wars. Mother Shipton's prophecies do not directly refer to Iran and Israel, but some interpretations and analyses suggest that her predictions may be related to Middle Eastern conflicts, particularly the potential war between Iran and Israel. Some of the most important analyses in this regard are as follows. 1. Religious and ethnic conflicts in the Middle East. Mother Shipton pointed to religious and ethnic conflicts that could lead to major wars. This is especially important in the Middle East and between Iran and Israel, which have many religious and political tensions. 2. Political and social changes. Mother Shipton's prophecies about major political and social changes could refer to developments in the Middle East and potential wars between Iran and Israel. These changes could lead to significant conflicts in the region. 3. Natural signs and climate changes. Mother Shipton pointed to natural signs like earthquakes and climate changes that could be seen as signs of major wars. These signs may be related to natural crises in the Middle East and wars resulting from them. Mother Shipton's prophecies about apocalyptic wars and potential conflicts between Iran and Israel continue to be studied and analyzed. Her poetic and ambiguous language has led to various interpretations of her prophecies, adding to the allure and mystery of these predictions. Chapter 5. Baba Vanga. Baba Vanga, whose real name was Vangelia Pandiva Gushtarova, was one of the most famous prophets of the 20th century. She was born on January 31, 1911, in the village of Strumica, which is now in North Macedonia, and she passed away on August 11, 1996. Baba Vanga gained global fame for her extraordinary abilities to predict the future. After losing her eyesight in her teenage years, she discovered her supernatural abilities and became one of the most renowned prophets in history. Baba Vanga was born into a poor family and had a difficult childhood. At the age of 12, she was caught in a storm and consequently lost her eyesight. After this incident, Vanga claimed to have developed supernatural abilities, enabling her to see the future and communicate with spirits. She accurately predicted many significant historical events, including the fall of the Soviet Union, the September 11th attacks, and the Chernobyl disaster. Her prophecies described many of these events in detail, earning her recognition as one of the most credible prophets of the 20th century. Like many other prophets, Baba Vanga also referred to major wars and global transformations. Some of her most important predictions about world wars and the Middle East are as follows. 1. World War III. Baba Vanga predicted that World War III would begin in the Middle East and quickly spread to other parts of the world. She believed that this war would cause massive destruction and significant changes worldwide. 2. Religious and ethnic conflicts. Vanga referred to religious and ethnic conflicts in the Middle East, believing that these conflicts could lead to major wars. She specifically mentioned the differences between Muslims and Jews. 3. Political and social changes. Vanga predicted that significant political and social changes would occur in the Middle East, potentially leading to major wars. These changes could include revolutions, coups, and regime changes. Baba Vanga's predictions about World War III and potential conflicts between Iran and Israel have also been noted. Some of the most important analyses and interpretations of her predictions are as follows. 1. Major wars in the Middle East. Vanga pointed to the occurrence of major wars in the Middle East, believing that these wars could lead to World War III. This is particularly important given the tensions between Iran and Israel. 2. Religious conflicts. Vanga referred to religious conflicts in the Middle East, believing that these conflicts could lead to major wars. The differences between Iran and Israel, which are largely based on religious and ideological issues, could be one of the triggers for these wars. 3. Global impacts. Vanga predicted that the wars in the Middle East would have widespread effects on the world, causing significant changes in global politics and economics. These wars could lead to global crises with impacts extending beyond the region's borders. Baba Vanga's predictions about world wars and potential conflicts between Iran and Israel continue to be studied and analyzed. Her extraordinary abilities and the accuracy of her predictions have led many people to trust her foresight and consider them as warnings for the future. Chapter 6. Other prophets. Throughout history, numerous prophets and interpreters have made predictions about wars and global transformations that have led to extensive discussions and analyses. In this chapter, we will examine the prophecies of some other prominent prophets whose analyses and predictions about the Middle East and potential wars have garnered attention. Indian prophecies. Indian prophecies, particularly from ancient Indian texts and prophets, have played a significant role in analyses related to wars and global conflicts. Some of the most important sources and prophecies from India are as follows. 1. Mahatma Gandhi and political predictions. Mahatma Gandhi, although primarily known as a political activist and spiritual leader, made some predictions about the future of India and the world that have been noted. Gandhi addressed issues such as global changes and religious tensions that could lead to major wars. 2. Sacred Indian texts, Vedas and Puranas. Sacred Indian texts like the Vedas and Puranas include predictions about great wars and global changes. These texts particularly address religious and ethnic conflicts in various regions, including the Middle East, and may be related to predictions about potential wars between Iran and Israel. Islamic prophecies. Islamic texts, especially the Quran and the Hadiths of the Prophet Muhammad, contain predictions about apocalyptic wars and major conflicts. Some of the most significant Islamic prophecies are as follows. 1. Islamic predictions about the end times. The Quran and the Hadiths of the Prophet Muhammad mention signs of the end times and major wars. These predictions particularly address significant conflicts in the Middle East, the emergence of the Antichrist, Dajjal, and other end-time signs. 2. Major wars and religious conflicts. Islamic texts refer to major wars and religious conflicts that could lead to global wars and conflicts between different countries. These conflicts include wars between Muslims and non-Muslims, as well as internal and external tensions within the Islamic world. Other notable prophecies. In addition to well-known prophets like Nostradamus, Edgar Cayce, and Baba Vanga, there are other prophets and interpreters who have made significant predictions about world wars and major transformations. Some of the most important of these prophecies are as follows. 1. Prophecies of James Redfield. James Redfield, a contemporary author and prophet, has addressed global issues and significant changes in his books. He has made predictions about global transformations and major wars, and his theories about the future of the world have attracted attention. 2. Prophecies of Aleister Crawford. Aleister Crawford, a contemporary prophet, has made predictions about world wars and political changes. He has particularly referred to major conflicts and global changes that could lead to significant crises. 3. Ancient texts prophecies. Some ancient texts from various cultures, including the Mayan and Aztec cultures, contain predictions about world wars and significant changes. These prophecies refer to signs of the end of the world and major global transformations. The prophecies of these various prophets about global wars and potential conflicts between Iran and Israel continue to be studied and analyzed. Their extraordinary abilities and the accuracy of their predictions have led many people to trust their foresight and consider them as warnings for the future. Chapter 7. Jewish prophecies about the Apocalypse War between Israel and Iran. Jewish prophecies about apocalyptic wars and global conflict stem from religious sources and ancient Jewish texts. These prophecies are particularly found in the Talmud, the sacred texts, Tanakh, and other writings, including the works of Jewish commentators. In this chapter, we will examine Jewish prophecies regarding the apocalyptic war between Israel and Iran and provide analyses related to these predictions. Sources of Jewish prophecies. 1. Sacred texts, Tanakh. The Book of Daniel. The Book of Daniel, one of the sacred texts of Judaism, refers to prophecies about the apocalypse and major wars. This book specifically addresses global conflicts and apocalyptic transformations, and some analysts believe that Daniel's prophecies may be related to wars between Israel and Iran. The Book of Ezekiel. The Book of Ezekiel also refers to prophecies about the apocalypse and global wars. This book particularly addresses significant wars and regional conflicts that might be related to the analysis of a potential war between Iran and Israel. 2. The Talmud. The Talmud, which includes a collection of Jewish religious texts and laws, addresses prophecies concerning the apocalypse and major wars. These texts particularly refer to global and religious conflicts, which might be related to prophecies regarding Israel and Iran. 3. Prophecies of renowned rabbis. Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, Maimonides' Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, one of the greatest Jewish commentators, referred to prophecies about the apocalypse and global wars. He particularly addressed religious conflicts and apocalyptic transformations that could be related to the analysis of a war between Iran and Israel. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai also referred to prophecies concerning the apocalypse and major wars. He specifically mentioned significant wars and global conflicts that might be related to prophecies regarding Israel and Iran. Analysis of Jewish prophecies regarding the war between Iran and Israel. 1. Prophecies related to apocalyptic wars. Prophecies of Daniel. The Book of Daniel refers to significant wars and global transformations. Some analysts believe that these prophecies could be related to potential wars between Israel and Iran. Daniel specifically addresses major conflicts and global changes that might be related to the analysis of a war between Iran and Israel. Prophecies of Ezekiel. The Book of Ezekiel refers to major wars and global conflicts. Some analysts believe that Ezekiel's prophecies could be related to potential conflicts in the Middle East, including a war between Iran and Israel. 2. Analysis of the Talmud and writings of renowned rabbis. The Talmud. The Talmud refers to prophecies concerning the apocalypse and significant wars. These prophecies particularly address religious and regional conflicts that might be related to potential wars between Israel and Iran. Prophecies of renowned rabbis. Prophecies by renowned rabbis like Maimonides and Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai refer to significant conflicts and apocalyptic wars. These prophecies particularly address global and regional transformations that might be related to prophecies concerning Israel and Iran. Connection between Jewish prophecies and the current situation. 1. Middle East developments. Iran-Israel tensions. The current situation in the Middle East, particularly the tensions between Iran and Israel, is related to Jewish prophecies about apocalyptic wars and global conflicts. These tensions could refer to prophecies about significant wars and global changes. Potential wars. Jewish prophecies about major wars and apocalyptic conflicts can help analyze the current situation in the Middle East and the potential for wars between Iran and Israel. 2. Global impacts. Global war impacts. Jewish prophecies about significant wars and the apocalypse can help understand the global impacts of wars and crises. These impacts could include political, economic, and social changes worldwide. Jewish prophecies about apocalyptic wars and global conflicts help provide a comprehensive view of the current situation in the Middle East and the potential for wars between Iran and Israel. These prophecies, particularly in the sacred texts, the Talmud, and the writings of renowned rabbis, contribute to the analysis of the current situation and global developments. Chapter 8. Predicting Victory in Wars and Conflicts. Analysis based on prophecies. Prophecies about global wars and conflicts, especially major wars and apocalyptic crises, have been extensively examined in various religious, cultural, and spiritual sources. These prophecies, depending on different interpretations, may provide insights into the future of wars and their outcomes. In this chapter, we will explore various interpretations and analyses regarding the potential victors in wars and conflicts and examine which countries might emerge victorious based on these prophecies. Analysis of prophecies. 1. Nostradamus prophecies. Predictions. Nostradamus referred to the occurrence of major wars and global transformations. He specifically mentioned significant battles in Europe and the Middle East, but did not precisely indicate the victory of any particular country. Analysis. Due to the ambiguous and poetic language of Nostradamus prophecies, they have been subject to numerous interpretations. Some analyses suggest that the ultimate victor in wars could be significantly influenced by global changes and political developments. The countries that can leverage crises to their advantage might emerge as the winners in these wars. 2. Edgar Cayce's prophecies. Predictions. Cayce predicted that World War III would start in the Middle East and quickly spread to other parts of the world. He provided detailed insights into the occurrence of these wars and their impacts. Analysis. Cayce's predictions did not specifically mention the victory of any country in these wars. However, various analyses indicate that countries capable of managing crises and capitalizing on opportunities may emerge as the ultimate winners. These countries might especially benefit from global and political changes. 3. Baba Vanga's prophecies. Predictions. Vanga predicted that World War III would start in the Middle East and quickly spread to other parts of the world. She particularly addressed the widespread impacts of these wars on the world. Analysis. Vanga's predictions did not directly indicate the victory of any specific country. However, different analyses suggest that countries that can take advantage of global and regional changes might ultimately emerge victorious. Victory in these wars depends on the country's ability to manage crises and seize new opportunities. 4. Jewish prophecies. Predictions. Jewish prophecies refer to apocalyptic wars and global conflicts. These prophecies particularly address the current situation in the Middle East and the global impacts of wars. Analysis. Jewish prophecies do not specifically mention the victory of any country in wars. However, various analyses suggest that regional and global countries capable of managing crises and leveraging new opportunities may emerge as the ultimate winners. These countries might particularly benefit from global and regional transformations. General insights. 1. Global and regional impacts. Prophecies generally refer to the extensive global and regional impacts of wars. Victory in wars might be achieved by countries that can leverage global and regional changes to their advantage and have the ability to manage crises. 2. Attention to opportunities and threats. The winning countries in these wars might be those that can best utilize opportunities and minimize threats. The ability to manage crises and capitalize on opportunities plays a crucial role in achieving ultimate victory. 3. Role of crisis management and global strategies. Crisis management and global strategies can significantly impact the outcomes of wars and conflicts. Countries capable of developing appropriate strategies and managing crises may ultimately emerge victorious. Conclusion. In this chapter, we analyzed prophecies regarding victory in global wars and conflicts and examined different interpretations. Based on the prophecies, victory in these wars depends on countries' ability to manage crises, capitalize on opportunities, and develop appropriate strategies. Countries that can leverage global and regional changes to their advantage might ultimately emerge victorious.